Hello everyone, it's Paul Driscoll here, and I'm doing a video review for my favourite retro gaming shop, GameSmart in Yardley, Birmingham. The best place to get all your gaming and retro gaming needs. Now, first of all, sorry it's taken me so long since my last video, but that's in part because I tend to do gaming videos for Retro Asylum, which is the UK's #1 retro gaming podcast show. So, if you want to see additional videos that I've done, please check out that site as well and see what you think. You can find them by searching for Retro Asylum on YouTube, and you should find the game videos there. Okay, now for this video I wanted to cover the Wii game Donkey Kong Country Returns. Now the Wii console gets a lot of criticism from people who are understandably put off by the machine, fueled by the swamping of terrible games released on the console. But in between all those cash grab terrible games are many absolute classic games to be played. And now is the time to get those games, because you can pick up these games incredibly cheaply. The games also work with the Wii U console as well, so it's a great way to boost the Wii U's limited game library. So on to the game itself. Well, Donkey Kong Country Returns was released in the 21st November 2010, and it's a great update of the rare Snes classic platform game series. But this time it's done by Nintendo's new third-party golden boys called Retro Studios. For those who don't know, Retro Studios are the American developers who did the amazing Metroid Prime games on the GameCube and Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS. So you know that this game will be amazing as well, and the game really doesn't disappoint either, with luscious visuals and chock full of ideas, whilst keeping completely faithful to what made the original series so great. Almost every moment in the game is doing something fresh or keeping you on your toes and genuinely wanting you to see more of the game and see what's happening next. There were countless times playing the game where my jaw literally hit the floor at something happening on the screen and the technical wizardry involved that Retro Studios were able to do with the Wii console. And at other times I would be beaming from ear to ear as the game brings back those fuzzy, nostalgic memories of the SNES original. The game's great for replayability as well, with you able to replay any level and try to find all the treasure, the bananas and secret jigsaw pieces to gain that perfect completion rating. Just be warned though that the game is as tough as old boots in places and will often have you screaming at yourself as you plunge once more to your doom. But that's the important distinction here, is you're screaming at yourself, not at the game. It's very seldom that you feel you died unfairly, with it instead being that your lack of skill caused your death in the first place. But then, that's very much how the original game was, so it's great that they kept true to its original roots and giving you a real hardcore gaming platform gem to enjoy rather than a toned-down kids game so frequent with Wii games. So all in all, I adore this game and you really need to track it down and give it a go. So enough of what I thought about the game. What did reviewers think about it back in the day? Well, official Nintendo magazine gave the game 91% and said it feels vintage and fresh at the same time. IGN gave the game 9 out of 10 and said, understand that there are times when you want to throw your controller against the wall. Donkey Kong Country Returns is not a cakewalk. It's a hardcore challenge for a hardcore gamer, and because of its difficulty, it offers an amazing sense of satisfaction when you completed a level that's kicked your butt 5 ways to Sunday. Retro Studios may have dialed back its Metroid Prime style innovation in favour of a more traditional platformer for its latest experience, but Retro's modesty is still more impressive than any other developer A-game. Rare should be proud that its design is in the right hands, or just insanely jealous. Either works. Computer and Video Games gave the game 88% and said, "The game's skillful courses and challenging, inventive boss battles are a breath of fresh air amongst the Wii's all-too-easy competition, and help Donkey Kong Country Returns remain a pleasingly faithful instalment to one of the gaming's greatest ever series." GameSpot gave the game 85% and said, "Donkey Kong Returns doesn't hide behind any gimmicks. This is a traditional take on 2D platformers, and it excels because the brilliant level design makes old obstacles seem new again. Every level hides a new surprise, and you'll replay them over and over again, not only to nab every hidden collectible, but also because they're exquisitely entertaining. Fantastic visual design and a catchy soundtrack complement the core gameplay beautifully, making it a pleasure to enjoy the aesthetic aspects. It's a shame that there are some control issues, but you usually have only yourself to blame when you fall into a bottomless pit. Donkey Kong Country Returns is another great game for Nintendo's furry mascot, and it's a must-play for anyone craving an old-school platformer. GamePro gave it 80% and said, "Here the original sold itself at least partially on the wow factor of its then impressive pre-rendered visuals. Donkey Kong Country Returns is all about what matters most in a high-quality platformer. Inspired, challenging and inventive level design, backed up by delightful cartoon-like atmosphere." Edge magazine gave the game 7 out of 10 and said, "Retro Studios has done a fine job with Donkey Kong Country concept, ably translating its appeal for a modern platform, but it doesn't push it much further." So there you go, a swathe of great reviews for a fantastic game. I forgot to mention, it really does work well on the Wiimote and nunchucks, surprisingly, with what you would think being rather gimmicky, such as shaking of the Wiimote to bash down on the floor, being intuitive instead of gimmicky, and it works really quite well. So there you go, track down this game today, particularly if you love the original or simply love old school platformers. So until next time, see you later.